So people really like giving me a quota to fill, and I guess that's why we're next to this mine here to fill a quota of 50 copper tokens, bronze tokens, coins, things. So we just gotta start plucking away at the wall in this mine, and thankfully there's coal right here that should be worth a little bit more than just a normal stone. Stone is only good if there's rock with it. So we mine a little bit of coal there, found coal for the first time. Sadly, this is a very small amount of coal, but we can keep digging a little further. Maybe there's another one. Oh, there is another type of block there. That might be worth something. It looks like sand or sandstone. Ooh. It's limestone actually, and it's very easy to break through. This will help us explore a bit until we get to the very wall of the mine, and oh, we're outside. Okay then, was not expecting that. But let's return to town with what we do have and then sell it in the market, see how much we made. So the coal, all three of it sells for 27. The limestone actually sells for a decent amount, 36 for 9 of those. And then stone is just one a piece, so we've already made quota. Good to know. So we can go ahead and enter the store and maybe get some upgrades for ourselves. But of course, these upgrades cost like silver and whatnot. Oh my god. Of course, there's a nuke. Well, I know what I'm doing today, but there's also torches that can be bought for 50. Not really sure we need those because we have a headlamp, but there's also a weapon store here, which is kind of concerning, especially because the dude running it is so big, but also the fact that we need like weapons and whatnot. Let's just go back to the mine. It feels safer there. And we got there from going south like this because of the block that we saw. Maybe we should go back to where the rail is because we can ride the rail and then just keep building it down this way, which is also increasing the depth. So that might mean there's actually more goodies over this way. Not that we'll really be able to tell until we're next to it because of this headlamp. Maybe we should have bought torches. We can just give it a little look to the left and right. Still nothing. It's also already Thursday. And this is a weekly quota, so we do not have a lot of time at all. Oh, but it looks like there's an opening over there maybe. Do I really want to break through that right now? I'm not sure I do, but if there's goodies in there, then it would probably be best. This is a pretty spacious cavern here, I must say, but there's a whole lot of nothing that I can see. Why don't we return and sell all of those stones for 15? We have 87 copper now, or bronze. Don't really know what it is. And keep stretching over this way. This is basically the only way we found something actually worth selling. Ooh, and I do see some more limestone there. Anything that's worth more than stone is gonna be good, and that's a very low bar to set. But it actually looks like quite a big limestone piece, which doesn't quite connect to the outside. That's fine. And it is 2:15 on a Friday already. How big is this limestone piece? Goodness, it just keeps going. And it also connects to a cavern over here. Still not sure I want to open those up, but I mean, the first one was fine. And we've already met quota, so maybe we can save all of this limestone for the next quota next week. And I guess we mined 100 blocks already. We are blazing through this. Oh, we might also be full on inventory. Yes, we are. We can ignore the stone, I guess, which I don't think we can drop anything right now. So let's go back and sell the stone. I want to save the limestone for the next quota, which it is looking pretty bright out for 5 a.m. on a Friday. But here, sell the stone. So at least we have a few more pieces that we can pick up. And thankfully a convenient side entrance here. So that limestone is collected. Don't need to leave behind any more pieces. Just need to get enough to fill up the pack. It's Saturday, and maybe we should buy some things from the store. I would like to buy a rail, but that costs silver, and I don't think we have that much quite yet. We can buy some torches that might be good. A teleporter too. This stuff is getting expensive. And a cowworm tracker. Not sure I want to know what a cowworm is, but ooh, we're actually short on quota now. That was a really bad time to sell that. So we can sell all this limestone. Okay, good to know. If you spend money and end up below quota, it doesn't stick, but we do have 3 silver now, and the rail packs of 15 cost 1 silver, so we can buy one of those, and we can upgrade some things like our bronze pick, which would leave us just enough for quota. But I think more than anything, we're gonna need more pack space. Let's spend a silver on that, and now we have a bigger pack that can hold 128 pieces. Very good. And then we can stop ignoring stone, and the quota clock is ticking down, but we do have it, and we're just gonna build a rail that goes deep deep into the mine here. And whoop, that was a torch. Didn't really want to place that. Can we get it back? Okay, good. I want to place the torches in this space. That should make it quite a bit easier to see, or at least confirm that there's nothing here. And thankfully, we can ride the cart all the way back to the beginning. And there we go, quota paid off. So our new quota is 1 silver. Thankfully, there was limestone over here that we left behind, and I'm really glad our money doesn't reset when we pay quota, but now there's this giant cavern, which actually connects back to the main tunnel we had here, so let's just do that, even though the stone seems to be quite a bit harder to break through. At least we have that. Is there anything along the walls? More limestone. A lot of limestone, wow. Ooh, and that looks new. And it is lead. Sweet. Not really sure how much lead goes for these days, but hopefully it's more than limestone. And there's more of the noises that I don't appreciate, but it looks like this is the end of the limestone tunnel going this way, and then this side just loops back to the giant cavern we opened up, so I'd say we have quite a bit of wealth here. Out of 73 pieces of limestone, and they go for 4 apiece, that's very good, and there's more lead up here. Maybe I should have built a rail this way, and there's more that's such a big chunk of limestone. Is this gonna be how we make the majority of our wealth, just limestone? Is that what they mine out of those gigantic quarries that have like huge cubes cut out of them that look not that big until you see the heavy machinery that's like on a tiny pixel of the picture? Is that what we're dealing with here? Oh, our backpack is also full. Great timing there. I got so carried away trying to think of what that kind of picture like entails that I didn't see that we filled up our pack. But thankfully there's an entrance over here. So just how much limestone do we have? We have enough for 4 silver pieces and 88 copper ones. And the lead for those is worth 60. My mental math isn't good enough for that. Oh wait, it's 15. So we're up to 6 silver pieces. Since we're opening up a couple of caverns with unknown things inside them, maybe we should buy a weapon. So we have a wood sword at least, and then we can buy some leather armor. So at least we have a little bit of protection, and the leather armor gave us more health. Can we get a blessing from the church? Hello? Anyone? Well, no one was there, but maybe it's because it's not Sunday. So this cavern was kind of a waste. Can I pick up the rail pieces? Oh, we can, good. I'm gonna make these go towards the left. And by left, I mean the right. Although we could probably pick up all these and just pick a new entrance. Or can we pick up the starter ones? Oh, we can. So wherever that big entrance is, and that is right here, let's actually find the one that's over this way, just because it's a shorter distance away. And realistically, we should have upgraded the pickaxe to mine through the stone better. But, okay, was this the one? I think this was it. Where's that piece of limestone we left behind? There's a decent limestone chunk, but there's no floaty bits. Is that lead still in the wall over here? Okay, this is it. So the rail can enter this giant cavern here, get right to the back wall, or at least close to it. This is an awkward little sliver of stone. So let's just get rid of this. So at least we get a minuscule amount of money by doing that. And we can see it I'm honestly surprised our footprints are sticking around this long. But I see the lead that's worth money over here, and I do see it continue up here, so this is definitely a good path to go down. At least for a little bit. That lead looks like it's by itself. Okay, so that's all the lead from at least that amount. And at least the rail is fast. So that works really good for making a quick getaway. So with all of that lead, we can get 45 and then 15 more from the stone, so that's another 60. Now I kind of worry that the quota is gonna jump a large amount because it basically jumped 100 coppers. But we can use 50 copper and 1 silver to upgrade the pick, so we have an iron pick. Or no, this is the bronze one. But at least we're doing more damage. Should make exploring the cave easier. But now, do we continue down the little mine shaft we create? Ooh, I don't like that, no. No. Stop it, I just got back there. I'll just stick with my limestone for now. Would it be easier if I knew just what that was? Probably. Do I want to find out what that was? Not really. Not at all. But there was another cavern here. Or at least a little block of one. And there's whispers now. What sort of demons are lurking in here? Just give me the lead. And I really don't know what that's about. Although, I was kind of joking about it earlier, but since it is Sunday, I kind of want to see if anybody actually is at the church. Hello? Anyone gathered for mass or anything? No one in church on a Sunday. Whoa, what was that? I'm not the only one that saw that, right? Like a little thing poked his head out. Okay, we made quota, new quota, 50 copper and 1 silver. Selling all the limestone and stone here gets us kind of close. Actually, that is it. We just can't buy anything yet. And we really should prepare for what's in here, because it sounds like we're gonna come across it regardless of what we do. I'm just hoping it's in like another cavern, so at least I can see it before coming across it, and we'll just follow the lead, because that's basically the money. And this is deeper than the other cavern, I think, and now I'm just curious now where that sound is coming from. It sounds like it's coming from the right, but I didn't see any caverns over there, at least not from where we were at. So I guess okay, I see a cavern opening up there. That's probably where the noises are coming from, so we could just get close to it and then hopefully see things. I see whatever that is, but at least we can break through limestone next to the edge of it and then see, what is that? It looks like a hill of something. I'm not sure, but there's more coal there and more lead, which I think coal was worth, how much is that worth? 9? We'll just keep our distance for now from whatever that is. At least we can see it from all angles. Oh, it's moving. Well, as long as we don't break through that wall, we don't have to worry about it. We have another cavern opening up here, so let's just steer clear of actually breaking through it, just in case something decides to get really friendly. I know limestone isn't the most profitable right now, but it certainly is the most plentiful, and it's easy to break through, so I really don't see a reason to not take it. And that's 100 pieces of limestone. So let's just make our way past the weird glob of whatever death it is. And I know we had the quota paid off pretty early, but the fact that it's already Thursday is getting concerning. But let's see how much we end up with here. It'd be crazy if it amounted to a gold piece, but we're not there yet. Instead 100 limestone is worth 4 silver, so that tracks. And we have 7 silver and 32 copper. Very nice. So we should probably buy maybe a few more rails, or maybe a stronger light. I do like a stronger light, and we can buy some TNT, but let's maybe get a lantern or 5 of them. Thankfully, they don't increase in price the more you buy them. And gloves? Increases swing speed. That would be good to have. And we can afford that, although just barely. Whoa, hold on. This is the entrance. I didn't see this stuff over here. Perfect time to use the upgraded gloves. What is this stuff? Salt, which was also really easy to break through, and there's nothing apparent going the rest of that way, so at least we stopped by there for a little bit. Might as well sell it since we're right by the entrance. And it's worth 2 copper a piece, which, how far does it go over this way? Is there limestone over this way? There's a giant entrance over here with more limestone next to it. You know what? Sure. Which is also kind of surprising that limestone on the outside just looks like normal stone. Well, at least we can open up this entrance. No, I am not stalling going back to where the scary thing is. I just feel like exploring in this particular direction. And I'm hearing more things at just depth 11. Great. Well, at least I mined 500 blocks so I can feel good about myself before being mauled by something. Is this a foreboding sign of things to come? I don't know, but there's another entrance here, which is a whole lot of nothing. Shocker. A really wide entrance over here. Is there anything here? There actually wasn't in immediate view. And now we're so far away that there's an arrow pointing back to where we have to go. Oh, but there's coal here. And this is actually a pretty large cavern for being like right away in the mountain. Gonna ignore that limestone for now. This is wrapping around pretty far, with another cavern opening there. Man, I should have gone over here first. And it's Sunday, but the clock isn't ticking, which is interesting. Just want to see what's at the very edge of this cavern before we break through anywhere. As long as there's no sketchy noises, I will be totally happy with whatever we find. And it seems like this might be all there was in this cavern, which is more than I was expecting. Also, I thought we just passed morning hours on Sunday. How are they? What? Why was that right there? Why are there sounds outside the mountain? I don't appreciate that. And now I'm just curious how that, what? Okay, so I guess the day turns over at 8 in the morning, but now we have a new quota for 2 silver. So we might as well just sell everything we have because it's worth some silvers. That is a interesting development, knowing how the time works. So that's our entrance. I want to know if there's any more wide entrances this way to be worried about. Arrows here, and nothing is showing up, which, what happens if we just wander in the middle of the desert? There's a whole lot of nothing that happens, but there's a road that goes very south here. What is this place? Oh, there's a cow! A very scrawny cow, goodness. The only cow that ever deserved a burger. But there's a house here, hello, can't go in. And the road just keeps going south here. Now I'm just wondering what's out there. And what is this? It's a giant house. Is this like a ranch house? I know farmers make a lot of money, but usually that money just ends up parked in the field as like tractors or tillers. There's that thing again, poking out of the dirt. What are you about? See, the other interesting thing here is slug away, which keeps mud slugs away. Is that what we saw in there? That might have been what we saw in there. Can we take care of the mud slugs by ourselves? I don't know, but I feel like I should have bought more rails. And now there's sounds to the left, so it's probably another mud slug over there. At least I can put a name to it. And sure enough, that's what's there. Should we try dealing with one? That was just, it looks so gross. Ooh, but there is more coal this way, good. I would like to stick to just one part of the mountain instead of having to jump back and forth both ways because one side might deplete resources. And there's more cavern. That's not concerning at all because this is where the scary noises are happening. Why don't we try our luck with, hold on, we should put down a lantern somewhere so we know exactly where to go. So this is the start of the cavern here, so a lantern can go there. That's actually pretty bright. And then where's the rail? It's right there, so let's put a lantern down here. And then this is one entrance. I think that's a good distribution for now. Is there anything more over here? No, of course not. But okay, let's break through the sandstone here. Okay, slug is moving. Are those eyes? Those are eyes. Hi there. Okay, we're getting damaged a bit. We're also damaging you. And he's dead. Okay, so what was here? Was that even worth it? One piece of lead. I don't think that was worth it. And we started taking damage like after it died too. So it's interesting to say the least. There's more limestone here that I didn't break through yet. So sure, let's just invite more dangers. Although I don't hear anything, so maybe there isn't dangers. There's coal at least. And we are circling back out of the more echoey depths. More cavern there. Go figure. More coal. It's Friday already. Why can't it work like that in real life? But also the daytime here is starting at, or the day starts at 8 a.m. So time is absolutely bonkers. But it seems like that's the extent of things noticeable immediately, but there's more cavern there. Oh, and there's a torch or something. What? What is this place? Hold on, did we just find a mine shaft? Is there gonna be cave spiders in here? Wow. Well, this is convenient. As long as we don't approach anything. Does this go outside? It goes outside. Wow. I should have kept walking that way. How far over are we? And how deep does this go? Goes 65 deep, which that's where we came out of. So neat. Man, we should just start from there. Although it is a long distance away, so I'm not sure how good it actually is. But let's see what our haul is currently. 90 copper worth of coal, that's very good. And then lead, a lot of limestone and stone. So if 100 copper make a silver, does 100 silver make a gold? That makes things very expensive. We'll need to go deeper to find more valuable stuff. But if the quota keeps going up at normal increments like it's been doing, I think we can sustain ourselves for quite a while we figure this out. In the meantime, let's buy some more rail pieces. And the hammer does splash damage, but that costs gold. Thermite torches, which seem like they light up more than the lantern, but they're more expensive than I would like. I think we'll be okay. Can we build rails outside? Sadly, we cannot build rails outside. That would be good instead of having to run down this long road to get back to the mine shaft we found. But thankfully it's right there. So we might as well use this thing for all it's worth and put a lantern here, just because it looks better. And it might be worth continuing down this way, or maybe it isn't. At least our pickaxe is fast enough that we can test this, and we're at a depth of 75. Ooh, there's lead up here. Okay, so at least this path results in something. Although I definitely want another pickaxe upgrade as soon as possible. And there's a cavern opening up there. Are there any demons on the other side? Well, we can put a lantern here because this is as far as we made it. And then rail all the way back, new quota. Okay, so it seems to be going up 50 copper each day. That's very doable. Who put a door in here? Let's sell some of these things just so we can see where we're at. Almost a nice amount. I haven't gotten to the saloon yet. Can we buy anything here? Some speedy blue. Are these temporary bonuses? Oh, there's money over here. Can I take this? I can't reach it. Give me the money. But also these drinks are kind of expensive. Cool stick. Sure, buddy. What is this, the 50s? I don't really know if those bonuses are permanent, and I don't want to waste money on trying it. Well, it is the start of the week, more or less, so I think we can try one of them. At least the healthy green is only 50 copper. Let's get a cup of Java. Increases movement speed by 1/4 and mining speed by 1/4. So, oh, it's a consumable. So we're just running with our coffee. Well, might as well take it now and zoom. Away we go. Maybe we should have bought some mud slug repellent while we were there, because I can still hear it, and it's right there. Do you come on? What? How do you have such an area? Well, that's just rude. I didn't realize it was an AoE effect. What is it, so repulsive that we're just like, ugh, stay away. Well, I guess that means that we need to buy some slug away. Although there's only one that's worth a silver. So that's quite the waste of money, I feel like. Well, no time like the present. Might as well use it, and so it's running away. Might as well just kill it. Oh, did we spray ourselves with it? We sprayed ourselves with it. I thought we sprayed the mud slug. Okay, so that is worth keeping. Kind of. Let's see what's in this cavern here. Hopefully not more mud slugs because they're annoying. Well, we found some lead. And that seems to be everything that's available immediately. A worthy venture, but I think we can keep... What sort of sliding sounds are happening? Seriously, I'm just trying to get deeper into the mine here and pay off an ever-increasing quota, which we are now short of after buying that. Hey, 100 depth! Is there anything here? Maybe not over here because we're on the edge of the world. Well, not the edge of the world, but the edge of where we've been before. And this is starting to look... Oh, wait, there's things up there. Salt. I'll take it. And a lot of salt too. I'll extra take it. Thankfully, we still have plenty of room in our pack, so we don't need to worry about leaving any behind. And there's more limestone. I forgot that I left a large chunk of limestone behind. And we're also no longer on the path that our minecart was, but we can circle back to that. And that slug repellent lasts for quite a while. I'm kind of surprised. And now we're getting limestone and salt in the same spot. Whoop. And now the sounds are getting more ominous. Great! And a mud slug just spawned out of nowhere. At least the effect is still going, and it keeps us from getting the tick damage. But I wish I knew how long it lasted. And this cavern opening up is not a great option either, especially because that's kind of where the droning was happening. And we don't even get anything for killing the mud slug, so it's not worth it. Now, where's our mine rail? Right here. Well, in any case, we have quite a bit of haul to bring in. It might be worth connecting the mine carts that are, or the mine rails that are over here, since we seem to be favoring that side now. And it would make getting back to town just a little bit quicker, but still worth it. So after turning in everything, we have 4 copper, or not copper, silver, so we're easily making quota. And then what did it take to upgrade the pickaxe? 5 silver. So we're almost there, but we do have a quota to pay off, and maybe we should explore this a little bit more. There might be some things that we haven't seen yet. See, like some lead right next to a cavern, and I think that might mean that the slug repellent is wearing off. And there's 2 slugs here. Maybe we can, oh, it wore off. And just being in proximity with a slight crack in the wall opens up tick damage. Really? I mean, at least we got that lead that was there. But if they just pop up out of nowhere, then that's gonna make them super annoying. And I feel like we're circling back to where the mine shaft was, but I don't see any previous footsteps, but the mine shaft is still here. So they do wear off over time. And it seems like the most expensive thing we've found so far is just the coal. Are we ever gonna get anything like diamonds or something? Well, in any case, we're about to get our new quota, which is probably 3 silver. And now we're at a depth of 150 with nothing new showing up. But there's our new quota. Sure enough, it's 3. And even if we miss a quota, we do get 3 strikes. So the rush isn't too bad. I just don't want to miss it. And there's coal there with another cavern opening up here. So I think it'd be good to expand the minecart this way, since this is quite a distance from where we left it. And how far off the beaten path are we for that minecart? If we go back around this way, and over here, it's actually more to the left. So it might be better to just shorten the path straight until we get to wherever that entrance was, because we can do that at least, and then just make it as simple as possible. This works, as it sounds like more mud slugs have spawned. So we'll see how much we make here, which is almost a nice amount of copper and then 3 silver. So at least we're making quota, but we can't really afford anything. I guess we can afford some things because it's still a bit before payday, or not payday, reverse payday. But we can buy 2 of these, I think. How much does it cost to upgrade the sword? 2 silver, of course it does. But we don't need to spray ourselves until we get really in there. And there's gotta be more mysteries happening, because all these large caverns gotta amount to something. So here's the edge of where we got to before, with some easily accessible lead. I like this. But now the only light source is on our head, and I'm not sure I like that directional awareness. But thankfully there's plenty of things that are easy to break through, so let's just reach deeper. We're almost to 200 depth, and I don't think we've upset any demonic entities yet. But the salt is leading us to more caverns, so that's promising, since the more expensive stuff has to be deeper in here. I refuse to believe coal is the most expensive thing, and this is actually a pretty narrow cavern. Don't tell spelunkers about this one. So there we are at 200 depth. Not an achievement for that, sadly, but also no new mud slugs, so the purchases that we've made towards that feel kinda wasted. Ooh, there's some lead to the left. Right, I mean, and I can't tell if I'm hearing more noises or if those noises are me, but let's return, I think. We only have half of a bag. Oh, we shouldn't go back yet, but we should maybe explore a different direction, just for a bit. You know, it might be worth getting a map just so we can see the tunnel network we made, if that's how that map works. Okay, we found some more lead, that's good news. You know, maybe the problem is when I created the world, I chose a large map size. That might have been a mistake, because it would mean that the resources are more spaced out. I just very much hope that isn't true, but we are getting more lead going back to the left. And I do mean left this time. And there's a mud slug right there. Go away. Just appearing out of that tiny little hole I made in the wall. So rude. Ooh, but there is a cavern here. Please let there be goodies on the other side. We're returning back to 200 depth, and we almost have a full pack, so at least we can return back with some measure of wealth. Hopefully, we can fill up the rest of it with more lead, or anything else that's a little pricier. But there is just so much lead. Although it's also about to be Sunday, so we should probably head back soon, but I just want that piece of lead there. I hope we can reach it with the space we have left, and I think we can. Okay, good enough. Let's make our way out of here. Thank you, footsteps, for persisting. Although they disappeared from here, so they might not last that long. Oh, there's another lead right there. We can hold it. And thankfully, we're back to the beaten path. It just still is quite a bit of distance before we get to the rail line. But once we're there, it's very easy to get back. I think once we make quota, we'll work on reuniting that one rail line we made, the first one with the big one that we uncovered. That should make getting back here quite a bit quicker. Okay, 3 silver worth of lead, that's very good, and then quite a bit of salt, almost 100 copper worth of stone. So we have 6 silver now. Not enough to buy anything comfortably that I want, but it's also almost quota day anyway, so we should continue what we're doing. Or at the very least, reclaim this rail and the surrounding lanterns, since we're focusing our efforts elsewhere. So instead of curving up right here, the rail will just continue over this way, which we should probably see where this ends up in relation to the rail line, the main one. But we will break through there eventually. It just might be a very long eventually, and here's a new quota, which we're actually only a couple of copper short, but it's not good for us in the long term because that means we can't really afford upgrades. And I see some limestone here, which I guess is okay. It connects to the outside a little bit, and we've mined 1,000 blocks, so cool. And this is quite the side here that's available to the outside world. Okay, we should probably measure out 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is 4 from where we're putting down the rail line. If we can find that in the mine that we found over here, that should make it easier. So depth of 4, I think it's this one. We can see just how much we have left to go, which if there's limestone along the way, that would make it easier. That's a healthy chunk of limestone, so we should probably return with that. And are there new slugs that showed up? Our slug repellent wore off, so we'll have to use the other one, which sucks. Okay, so good news is there was some limestone on that path. And there's a path that we made. Good, we've connected it. At least as far as, like, you know, tunnel is concerned, and surprisingly our pack filled up very quickly, but thankfully that's what this rail line here is for, or this tunnel. It will be a rail line, so we can just get right back closer to town, and then we have 3 silver worth of limestone. Very good. So our quota is 350. If we get 850, then we can afford to upgrade the pickaxe without needing to worry about meeting quota, although we could definitely use more rails. Why don't we buy rails now since we're in town? I got a one-track mind. I do one thing and then immediately forget everything else I was gonna do. But we can buy 3 packs of rails. Not sure if this is gonna make the distance, but hopefully it does. Anything to make the path a lot faster than walking. So we get close, but we're not all the way there yet. Also, I think we're out of alignment. And there's a mud slug there, because of course there is. Go away. You don't even give me anything, you're worthless. I thought we mined straight on depth 4. How'd it get so off? Well, that's annoying. So where's our rail? It's on depth 4, how did it get off? Is that from diverting to harvest the limestone? Probably. At least it's not too many blocks more. But this is also quite an expensive measure for my own comfort, and we should probably work on getting deeper into the mines. We can finish this a different day. And of course there's more mud slugs. Go away, go away, go away. And I'm not really sure where to resume. So let's just start here. And why don't we ignore stone for now, just so we can focus on digging. Ooh, good thing I looked to the side. There's salt over here, which is very awkwardly spaced out from each other. So that was worth the side detour. Also, how large is a large map is what I'm wondering now, because we've been mining here for a while with absolutely nothing in sight. But we are just about to depth 250, which is also not an achievement. But there's a cavern here, and is it just me or are the stones getting a little shiny? Whoa, that's a new thing. About time there was something new. What do we have here? We have zinc. Sweet. And it connects to a cavern. Is that a good thing? I don't know yet. But zinc should be worth quite a bit, at least I hope it is. Let's just put a lantern here to mark our achievement. And thankfully there is more zinc around here. I'm really hoping that's the most expensive thing so far. I also have no idea how far over we are. We really should buy that map. Maybe sooner than the pickaxe. And maybe the stone was always this shiny, but I don't remember it being always that shiny. Well, here's another cavern. Any more zinc? There's plenty of lead and coal. Ooh, this looks new. It is anthracite coal. I have no idea what that means. Any geologists in the comments? Well, at least there's plenty of resources here, and I did see some more zinc over here, so that's also good news. Although this is also awkwardly spaced. Well, there's 8 a.m. on a Sunday, so next it's 4 silver, which we are completely devoid of. So I really hope this is worth a lot. And now our mudslug protection is gone. But was there any more of that anthracite coal over here? Did we get it all? I think we got it all, but there is more lead up here. We still have a bit of space. Although now I worry I'm on like a breadcrumb trail of ores, because there's zinc right there, and thankfully there's nothing around it. And then what was going down the cavern this way? Anything? I don't think there was anything. There's our lantern. So now we know the way back, as long as it is. Whoop, that's already a wrong turn. I feel like we're gonna need more lanterns to light the way, since we are getting pretty far deep in here. Okay, realistically, we don't need this lantern here, or this one, so at least we can reclaim a few things. The torches do not do very much, so they're not even worth taking. And now we're back to civilization, so let's see what our haul is. So zinc, or anthracite coal, 9 of that is worth a silver and 17 copper. All that lead, limestone, salt, stone, and then 14 zinc is 250. Pretty good, I'd say. We have quota, although sadly not enough to make purchases, unless we want to pick up more slime stuff, or slug stuff. That honestly feels like a waste. We'll definitely stop in the saloon to get the healthy green that heals. Would be worth getting a supply of that, honestly. But now we have 115, so we're only 10 short. I can live with that. Thankfully, getting to the spot that we left off isn't so bad. So let's just save a few lanterns that way, but now where did we go? I think this might have been as far as we went. But this is at a depth of 300, I just realized, so why don't we place a lantern here and then keep digging from here? And that seems to be working out. Ooh, and we're finding some new stuff. Is that gold? It doesn't quite look like gold. It is tin. Sweet. And there's a lot of it too, with a cavern over there. And there's quite a bit of zinc here too. Now let's put a lantern here just so we know how far we've gone, because I'm not sure where this cavern here is gonna lead to. It does go up for quite a ways, I will say. And there's more tin with another cavern right there. And then looking way over there, I thought I saw something. Or maybe I didn't. I've been in this cave too long, I'm already hallucinating. But, whoa, what is that? Is that like granite? No, it can't be granite. It's gotta be something though, it's really tough. Oh, it is granite. Well, it's definitely a lot more difficult to dig through. Maybe we leave that until we upgrade the pickaxe. But that is a large deposit though. Is that like a threshold for how far we can dig? We're at a nice depth right now, but are we like kept from going deeper until we upgrade our pickaxe? We might be. So why don't we put this like right here? And by here, I mean right here, so we can find the entrance to this cavern again. We haven't explored all of the edges. But there is more tin over here, and we have nowhere near a full bag, but there's a new thing. Looks like some weird moss or something. Hopefully it's not too difficult to get. It better be worth a lot too. It is nickel, and the clock is about to run out, so why don't we take all the things that we found, including the nickel, back? Oh, there's more quartz, or not quartz, granite down here. Well, I think we can stay down here a little bit longer then. The next quota is about to be like 450 or something, isn't it? Yeah, 450, which means that upgrades are further away the more this drags on, which is not good. But there's that payment, and we're left with 234 and even more caverns. How far to the side are we? Kind of amazed we haven't hit the edge of the world yet, but again, large map size. Well, at least even with the large map size, we are still finding new things to get. It just takes like almost a whole day to get out of this cavern, and there's definitely enough back and forth that we could stand to slim up some of these tunnels, or at least have more straight shots in them, but that's also a bit of work. Thankfully, the rails are much faster than our running speed. All right, so granite is worth 5 apiece. That's good to know. Nickel, just one of those is 17, 30 tin for 6. And then all that zinc for 324. We have a gold now, so it's 10 silver, make a gold. Good to know. And also quite the relief. But unfortunately, we need 8 gold to buy a nuke. Although we can buy a cowworm tracker, which I really don't think I want to know what that means. But at least we can comfortably upgrade the iron pick. This is a steel pick. Popular choice for rogues, I'm sure. But now if we spend this, we're gonna be short on quota, but it is only Tuesday, so I think we buy the map now. So there we can see a map of our tunnels, which is good. And since all that stuff was able to get us to 1 gold, we should be able to reclaim that pretty easily. And then we can follow the map through the tunnels well enough, which it looks like it does show surrounding tunnels too, including a large cavern there. But let's go back to where we were. And wow, we really get to see how large that straightaway was. So I think we're kind of back to where we were. Just a little further up this way. And how quickly do we break through stone now? Ooh, 2 hits, much better. But where's that granite? It's still quite a bit to break through, but at least it's not unbearable. And there are still some other resources around the coal, like more of this andesite coal, whatever that means. Or anthracite, that's what I meant. More cavern opening up here. Hopefully no more meat, or not meat slugs, mud slugs. Meat slugs would be worse. Anthracite just has to mean the process that made the coal, right? Like, charcoal is from burning wood. So what sort of process makes anthracite coal? And the sad thing is all this anthracite coal is sprinkled in amongst the granite, which is more of a chore to get through. And the fact that it's already Friday again is so concerning. It's like Wednesday doesn't exist. But map, okay, so we can see that there's no caverns through here, so it's not even worth continuing. Might as well keep going along the edges until we find more resources besides granite. And thankfully, this confirms that the granite isn't quite a threshold stopper, although we definitely didn't go through the entire cavern. Or maybe we did? Maybe we did, but there's more material up there. And we're at a depth of 400 now already, so that's looking really good. And there's more caverns ahead. We should be able to get to that pretty quickly. There's more lead over here, so this is worth a pit stop. Finding plenty of tin now, not as much zinc, but the caverns are helping us explore, so at least we're finding more of those. And there's a big one to the side there. I really hope the next pickaxe upgrade lets us one-shot the stone, because that would be huge. But there's still more resources in the wall here. And I like how the lead, when it's hit with the wall, just flips the other way. We're kind of pressing the limit here, but oh, there's more resources. And I see more up there. We gotta go back. Oh, but then of course I find zinc and more anthracite coal, or whatever that word was. Oh boy, 12 hours to go. We really need to go back. Now's the part of the game where we stare at a map the whole way back. Man, if only the rails weren't as expensive. I could have had like a whole system set up here. But that clock is getting very close. We're not gonna make it back in time. Oh, we missed the quota. So there's 1 strike, and the quota still went up. And we're also currently out of money. So they took everything. Hopefully everything we have is worth 5 silver. It might not be worth it to venture as deep into the mountain anymore. But that's also where the good stuff is. My goodness, this is a long way back. But finally we make it back to the rail line, which is feeling very short now. Don't even care about the side tunnel we made. Okay, so we have 2 coal, or 2 silver from that, a good amount from the granite, and then all those things give us, we have quota now. We just cannot afford anything in order to preserve quota. Well, we can afford more rail things. Are there any upgrades we can afford? I feel like that's better than the rails, maybe. There was boots. We can buy boots. Have better running speed. I think that's gonna be worth it. And then we can afford 1 pack of rails, but we also don't really get anywhere near filling our backpack. So why don't we spend this entire quota duration just to fill it up? And I meant to put in more rails, but there might be better in some segments like this one, just to make it a little quicker. They don't have to be connected, and they'll shorten some of the journey. I feel like it would just be way too expensive to try and continue that now. And there is a cave over there, a large one. Maybe that would have stuff, but the good stuff is still down here. And I'm not even sure if all of these side tunnels are worth branching to. But now we're back to where we were, and I thought I saw tin somewhere in the edges. There's lead there. I really hope we can eventually get a mineral that's worth 1 whole silver. That would certainly make my life easier. At least we are finding more zinc going this way, but that's about as good as we're gonna get there. And here's some more of this coal. So I think that makes this a pretty good path to go down right now. But there's that now too, and I don't like it. Another cavern here. We're just gonna go cavern hopping. I think that's the best way to find resources. We make our way towards this one, and there's zinc on the way, and more granite. Maybe we should be collecting all this granite, because if it's worth 5 apiece, then that's pretty good, I think. At least for what's available. And there's plenty of it, like the sandstone in the beginning, or the limestone rather. Oh, and there's another one of those nickels. And is that a mud slug again? Yes, it is. You are just the worst. Get out of here with your trashy self. Leave me to my work. At least I can recognize some sounds, and we can carve our way through the granite, which is a little easier to get to some things. And we're almost to a depth of 500 now, and amazingly, we are still finding lead down here. But it's already 3 a.m. on a Saturday, which is gonna become Sunday real soon, so I'm kind of worried this dig hasn't been as good as I was hoping it would be. Just going this whole time collecting resources, and I don't even know if there's a cavern over this way, but I'm still finding resources, so it's worth digging this direction. Now, I don't believe the strike is gonna clear once we pay off this quota, but in any case, it looks like we found a good path to go down because there's still more resources here. And then there's that thing again, which just sounds like a drain, but now our pack is getting pretty full, so we might have to start turning around pretty soon. But we're not at that point yet, and we have reached depth 500. And there's more materials here. Is this copper? It is! Oh, good, and it's easy to dig. So sure enough, we kept the strike and the quota just went up, but we were able to pay it off. But, oh, I don't want to go back yet. We might have to start going back when it says like Friday or something to meet the deadline, because this is a long cavern we're in. You know what would be worth getting? One of those teleporters, because I think that's gonna serve us a lot better than a rail line at this point. And there's no caverns in sight except for over that way, so that's kind of concerning. I guess there's a few more down this way, so going back to the middle. Ooh, more copper. This is a good choice. I really hope this is worth like 25 or something, because we sure are finding a decent amount at least. But our bag is also starting to get full, so maybe we prioritize some things like the copper. What am I saying? We're gonna need all the resources we can get, keeping a very close eye on the time. And also a close eye in our inventory, because we are getting pretty full, which is good. But of course, mud slugs show up, so it's not all good. It's also really off-putting with when the day cycles like it does. It's like, what time zone are we working in where 8 a.m. starts the next day? Whose clock are we running on, and why is it not local time? I don't even know why I'm digging this way. It was just an easy path through the granite. But I see zinc over that way, so I think this is a good idea. We might have to start going back on Thursday instead of Friday. But we also only have 4 inventory spaces left, and it would be nice to fill those. So you know what, granite time. And there we go, full bag. Time to sprint all that distance back. We could probably connect some of these other caverns to make the distance easier, because we go way to the side there and then back this way. Like, look at that U-turn that we made. We should just go down here and then dig back. At least it's all stone. Or I thought it was all stone. Can we keep the map open and dig? Oh, good, we can. Oh, and there's more nickel on the way. Unfortunately, we have a full bag, but at least we can run back here. All right, connecting to this cavern. Looking good, looking good. 1 shortcut achieved. Not really worth putting a shortcut in there, I don't think. And there's nowhere to really shortcut through here, sadly. If we can make quota and have extra, I am definitely buying those teleporters. And also, I don't know what I was doing through here, so here's another spot for a shortcut. And interestingly, it looks like the rail car kind of interrupts the path a bit with how it's presented. So that's interesting. Good thing we don't have a full coating of the rail line here. But I guess also if we had the rail, then we wouldn't need the map. Okay, make it back on 8 p.m. Friday. Looking good. And we left on pretty much Thursday, so at least we can get back in a day's time. Time to see what this full bag is gonna get us. I'm hoping for like 2 gold. So all the anthracite coal is worth 2.5 roughly. 375 for all that copper, nice. There's our quota. 60 for granite, 120 for lead, 85 for nickel. We're getting some pretty good amounts here. We do have 2 gold, good. Now, how much is the teleporter? It is 10 gold, never mind. That's more expensive than the nukes. But at least oh wait, can we buy a steel pick? 550, and it takes 1.5 gold to buy this. So they'll use all the gold, but we should have like 7 silver afterwards. Because this is basically 22 minus 15, and that is 7, so we can still make quota. Let's buy it. And the next upgrade was a platinum, but I'm hoping that this can get through the granite a lot easier because there's a lot there and it can really stack up if we fill up our bag with it. Now, is there a path that we can take on the way back that would be fruitful? There was that shortcut through here, or not here, here, or I thought it was there. See, I'm already getting turned around. Not really turned around, but forgetting where we've been. Because there was a shortcut that I saw in nickel. Unless I already ran past it, in which case I'll find it on the way back or something. And can we one-shot the stone? Not quite yet, but we're back at the granite that we left off here. And the granite is certainly easier to get through. At least to the point that I'm okay with it. It kind of feels like how the stone did when we started. But this is also not nearly as deep as we were, so I'm not sure how long I want to stick around here. There is a cavern over that way, so maybe we can dig our way there. And there's our new quota, 550. Oh no, 6. It was 550 before, that's right. So at least we still have some money left over. But now we kind of have to start saving to make quota. And sadly, this cavern looks pretty devoid of anything interesting. So let's go back as deep as we were before. And I didn't notice this lead on the side. Oh, here's the nickel. That shortcut was earlier on our return trip than I thought it was. But now we're as far as we've been, so let's go deeper. We need to go deeper. But I'm kind of worried because there's no more caverns for a long way. At least there's copper and a fair dosage of it, so this should be worth quite a bit. I saw some tin over there, but I'm gonna focus on copper because this is also leading us deeper. And now I think we reached the end of the copper train because there hasn't been anything for a while here. There's tin there, which is leading to more, so at least it's resources we can collect. And it's just an interesting little corner of random things. One of the coal things, one of the granite things. Might as well get it. Oh, and there's copper on the backtrack. And more of the coal here. I'm starting to feel like we're at the point where some resources should just be ignored because other ones are more expensive. But also, I don't have the money amounts dedicated to memory yet, and we kind of just need, like, everything. Oh, it's already Thursday, yikes. We don't even have a full bag, but I would rather try to return with what we do have and see if it's worth quota, which I really hope it is, but there's so much tin here. At least we have cut-in shortcuts that save a lot of time, so it actually shouldn't be too bad to make it back, because like, yeah, this is a huge time saver. So we make it back to town before it's even Friday. Or before it's even Saturday, but not quite to market. At least we can sell everything and walk out of it with 1 whole gold and some silver. So thankfully we have quota, but we're gonna buy another healthy green here, maybe a second one, just to have one on the side. Top this one, or top ourselves off with that one. Maybe buy one of these. And is it worth upgrading the sword? Because that'll make paying off the next quota that much easier. And hopefully we can get back to where we were before the next week starts. So that's an entire time's worth, or an entire week's worth of mining. Also, I thought the green drink healed more than what it just did. But man, once we get past all those caverns, it just becomes a grid network of where we were going. Oh, and there's a mud slug there. that completely blocks our way. Why do you gotta be so rude? I knew I ran past him on the way back, but I was kind of hoping he wouldn't be there. And there goes that green drink, so at least we have a second one. So at least there's more coal there, 650 on the next quota, and we actually are able to afford it still, so that's even better. And at least there's more resources along the way, even if they're not next to a cavern. But now we're finding a lot of this anthracite coal here on the way. Oh, there's nickel, good. And copper. Make some currency out of this. Although I did hear they're not gonna be making pennies next year, which means that in the future, there's gonna be a generation of kids that have no idea what you mean when you say penny for your thoughts. Or they're not gonna understand the math when you give your 2 cents. And sure, places might accept pennies for a while, but how long is that gonna last? Who even pays with pennies these days? I certainly don't keep any. Any sort of loose change I'm given just goes straight into the tip jar. I'm also kind of surprised the amount of resources we're getting by backtracking here, I will say. We might not be able to be here the full duration without needing to go back and empty, which isn't a terrible thing. At least we're finding more resources. Might not be about depth anymore. I'm sure it will be, because I'm sure there's more resources. Just trying to keep some realistic expectations. And I don't even remember how much the next upgrade for the pickaxe cost, but I'm sure it's quite a bit. A pretty penny, if you will. That's another one that's gonna disappear. Okay, but now here's another section of granite. Oh, there's a cavern over there. I was really worried that we ran out of caverns going this far right and this far up. And there's a large deposit of zinc here. Good thing it looks like we have room to carry it all. Although this cavern is kind of stopped short going up, isn't it? But there is another cavern up and to the right there, so even more up and to the right. Quite the diagonal we're cutting through the earth here. But if we bring everything back and then we're 1 payday ahead, or 1 quota ahead at all times, then that's gonna be really good for our longevity. I haven't even had one of the mushrooms in the saloon yet. Maybe we should try that once, just to see what it does. And I accidentally used the wrong thing. Might be the last time I buy money on one of those. Buy money on one of those, spend money on one of those. Oh, look at all this copper here. This might top up our bag. We don't have that much space left. Actually, it's not gonna top it up at all yet, but we're getting very close to it. Okay, there's more copper down here, so maybe we will. It is just amazing to me how much we've gone in this direction. I hope we see a map of everything we dug once the run finishes out. I think we can expose that one. Maybe find one more resource like nickel. A whole lot of nickel, but that's all we can carry. Surprisingly, need a bag upgrade. And we actually do have time and money left over. Should we just dig a straight path down here? I feel like this is gonna be another shortcut. At least I hope it is. But there's also more resources on the way, so let's not harvest these yet. At least we found some more here, which is good. And that was a sound. So we're kind of making our way back to where we were. It's more of a shortcut than what we originally had. And there's our payday, or not payday, reverse payday again. New quota of 7. We don't have that money, but we have a full bag, so we should be able to afford it. All right, market man. How about you give me all the money I can for this stuff? Oh, not the map. So we end up with 2 gold again, which is good. And our quota is 7, so we can pay that off with gold left over, which the gold should be good for a few paychecks, I hope. And the pick upgrade costs 3 gold. We almost have it, but then we won't make payday. We can upgrade the boots again, and that honestly might be the more important thing, or the big pack. I think the boots, just because the tunnels are so long. And honestly, I think we're on a pretty good pace here with our little mining operation we have going on here. Able to make pretty good paydays, getting even deeper into the tunnels, and maybe there's gonna be some more secrets there in the future. But that'll do it for today, and just keep digging. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're looking forward to seeing more, then be sure to let me know. Thank you for watching, and sub to Intern.